Eric here, start us off. Eric, welcome. How are you today?
Doggy, how you doing, buddy?
Fine, Eric. Nice to talk. Let me hear now. Fire away.
You too. Hey, look, I got 2 points and a recommendation for you, actually. So I'll get to the first tough one. You hit it out of the park today. FBI, can we start, instead of worrying about who paid for this and who paid for that, can we start worrying about innocent kids getting killed by these wackos? I think you were so spot on with that. I loved your take on it. Very good. I mean, the signs were there. You
had 2 leads in the last 3 months, and the FBI dropped the ball because they're worried about Chuck Person. Now, I don't know how the FBI distributes their manpower, but there's not 1 billion FBI agents. They don't have 1 million of them. They have to make sure this is a more important issue for America right now than whether Brian Dozier goes to Louisville with $100,000. The American fan, the American sports fan doesn't give a crap, and the American person has no interest in it. If they want to cheat, let them cheat. Nobody cares. Jim Nantz doesn't care. CBS doesn't care. The NCAA doesn't care. But what we do care about is 17 people shot in cold blood in 6 minutes in a high school, and the FBI knew about it, knew there was a chance to stop this, and didn't do it. That's a horrendous job of the FBI.
Correct.
There's no other way around it.
Correct too. No one cares. Nance doesn't care. CBS doesn't care. They're gonna react to the tournament the same way, no matter what. So. You are 1,000% correct. Doggy, I wanted to make one recommendation to you because I know you're a big golf guy. Netflix, because now that I know you've been into Netflix, please search the documentary on Seve Ballesteros' life. It's called Seve. You would be so into it. It shows the highlights from the 76 Open when he was 19 years old. Shows how he learned how to make his own golf clubs and practiced on the beach for 3 years. It's fantastic, Doggy. You would absolutely...
Good one. And Eric's a great fan, goes to Oakmont and everything else. We will keep an eye on that. Jimmy in Cleveland, he's on Mad Dog Unleashed. Jim, good afternoon. How are you today?
Hey, Chris, a couple quick things about the guns. First is, like you, I mean, I can't stand the hypocrisy. What I can't stand the most, though, is they can't say thoughts and prayers anymore. I can't hear.
Oh, that's what the kid said. That's what the kid said. That's what everybody posted on Twitter down in Florida.
I'm talking about the politicians. They can't. I can't.
But I can't. That's what the kid said to the politicians. Enough of your nonsense. We don't want to hear Donald Trump do something. That's simple. But the Republicans are in bed with that NRA, and until they realize that American society is more important than the Rifle Association, and Marco Rubio taking $3.5 million in campaign things for the NRA, same thing with Ryan, same thing with Cruz, until they realize that this has to stop. And there's 19-year-olds who cannot be allowed to go out there and buy 50, those kind of assault weapons. This situation is going to pop up all over the place. It has forever. It has to stop. But until you either have the Republicans get off their ass and do something, or vote them out of office and get Democrats in there who will at least pay attention to some variety of. That's why Bloomberg's a good man here. At least pay attention to some scenarios of gun control. This is going to happen over and over again. But right now, I'm more annoyed about the FBI because I have fought the gun control. How does the FBI waste everybody's manpower? They did the same thing with the steroids. They wasted everybody's manpower with that, and now they're wasting everybody's manpower with this asinine scenario with the college coaches in college basketball, yet they fought it around and screwed up 2 leads, which prevented this thing from happening here a couple days ago.
Well, let me say one quick thing. It didn't always happen. There was an assault weapons ban that sunlighted a bunch of years ago.
93, right?
Yeah. So it didn't always happen. This has not always happened. So that's. I agree with you that it's been happening for a long time, but it hasn't always been like this. But let me get to the FBI thing. Let me say 3 things because I know you're going to scream at me, but I want to say 3 things. 1, the FBI has to be able to do both. 2,
why do they have to do 100 now? Why do they? I don't want them in sports. Why do they have to be in sports for?
Well, I'm going to tell you why they need to be in sports. Okay, this is number 2 and number 3.
This is not point shaving. Nobody. This is not somebody cheating outright. Who is the victim with the Louisville thing? What? Because teams in the ACC? I mean, they got kids at Carolina don't go to class. Who is the victim with Louisville? Who got hurt? Tell me who got hurt.
Chris, I'm going to tell you who got hurt. We as a taxpayer, these universities are nonprofits. They get propped up by all of us. They get tax money. They get relief on their property. I'm here in Columbus right now. Ohio State owns the city because they get their land for so cheap. So what I'm telling you is this, we pay for this, okay? So the point is that the United States, it's the same thing as the pro teams, okay? It's just on a smaller scale, less money involved. But there's a lot of money at stake here, and these universities are making a lot of money. It's basically like you, Chris, getting a whole bunch of money at an interest rate that the rest of the country doesn't get. That's what these universities are getting.
I don't care, Jim. I don't care. And the sports fan doesn't care. And the lady down the street who's driving her kid to school doesn't give a crap either. People don't care. They didn't care about steroids. Listen, Bonds is getting his number retired here on August 11th. He didn't go to jail. He probably will get in the Hall of Fame. How about Clemens? He'll probably get in the Hall of Fame. He didn't go to jail. Won 350 games. What was accomplished? Tell me what was accomplished. He got 57% of the vote. What was accomplished? You embarrassed him for a couple years? What was accomplished? They had a tip on January 5th, the FBI. Statement today, go read it. We screwed up. We had a tip today on January 5th, and we did not pass it on to our people. They had a tip from Mississippi on a Facebook post. Did nothing about it. They had 30 cops who visited this guy's house shooting squirrels, shooting pigs with guns. And somehow these cops didn't tell the FBI, hey, we got to look into this. Nobody kept an eye on him. This kid got expelled from school for carrying knives. Nobody down there in South Florida had any idea. Let me get this straight. The FBI that's in our lives left and right, they spent hours and weeks and months hacking that dopey computer in St. Louis with that Chris Correa guy. All right? Does anybody give a crap about Chris Correa? Were the Houston Astros hurt that the St. Louis Cardinals were hacking? No, two wrongs don't make it right, and he was wrong to do it. But with the Houston Astros, they just won a world championship. They get the best farm system in the sport. Were they hurt? The FBI spent months on that. Yet the FBI fell asleep on this. Fell asleep. Fell asleep. Fell asleep. Yeah, we're going to worry about what Auburn did in Chuck Person. Give me a break. Jacob Wilkins has a sports bite. Mad Dog Unleashed.